Clearly, air traffic controllers' sick outs have had an adverse effect on a flight, as we just talked about. So, how bad do you believe it has been?
Oh, it's been bad. The air traffic control system was being held together by duct tape even before this. The so-called Department of Government Efficiency stripped out some of its staffing, some of the people who work on keeping their equipment going. So they were under enormous stress before. And now you have people with mortgages and bills missing several paychecks. No wonder the system is creaking.
Yeah, I'm curious the way you spell this out. Clearly, the stress on these workers, it's already a very stressful job. And if you're worrying about making ends meet, would you fly right now? Would you feel comfortable, safe flying right now?
No, no, I turned down a couple of speaking engagements precisely because I didn't want to fly.
Wow. Well, Trump wants to reward those controllers who came to work, tossing around some $10,000 bonus, although admitting he has no idea where the money would come from. At the same time, he wants to dock the pay or fire those who have been calling in sick. How likely is Trump to follow through on these ideas?
This administration hasn't taken air traffic control seriously, even when we had a tragic crash right outside of Washington that is partly attributable to inadequate air traffic control. We should be strengthening the system and supporting the traffic controllers, not abusing them. But unfortunately, they've been so irresponsible in air traffic control, I'm afraid they may continue.
Well, as we heard, flight cancellations and delays are not only continue, they're going to be expanding. How do these delays differ from airport to airport? Because the 40 major airports are being hit the most, but these regional flights have been canceled to a large degree.
Well, you can't fly very far in the US without going through one of those 40 airports. That's the way our system is built up. So there are very few people that are genuinely immune from these cutbacks. These are the hubs of the system from which most other flights radiate. And these airports have very little margin for error. I'm glad they're cutting back on flights rather than having exhausted controllers working extra shifts and making a mistake that could cost hundreds of people their lives.
Hmm. What's been the airline industry's response to all this, and can they put more heat on the government?
Oh, they've been putting a great deal of heat on the government. The reason the government shutdown ended is because they put great heat on Senate Democrats. You see, two of the votes for the deal to end the shutdown came from senators from Nevada, which is very dependent on the tourism industry, and where a reduction in flights was going to be causing a lot of people to lose paychecks. So the airline industry has been working this very hard, and they won.
Yeah, and indeed, we're going to kick into the high season soon. What could we expect in terms of impact from the upcoming U.S. holiday travel season, Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Well, the shutdown will be ended, but I think a lot of the problems will continue. This system was not doing well before the shutdown, and with President Trump threatening controllers, I think you will have a increasingly disgruntled workforce, more people retiring early, and more shortages of air traffic control. So I wouldn't assume things will be back to normal anytime soon.
Well, let's pick up on that. How long before it will be what we consider normal, the pre-shutdown normal, if you would?
If we're lucky, if not many of the controllers retire or quit, and if President Trump thinks better of his threats to the controllers, then perhaps by the Christmas rush, this thing will have worked its way through. But the airlines' whole system is based on planes being in motion constantly.
Hmm.
So when you cancel one flight, there isn't a plane available for the next flight, and so on. So it will take quite a while to work it out, even once air traffic is back. Air traffic controllers are fully back to work and paid. And again, I think there will be some holes even after that.
David, we don't have a lot of time, but I'm curious. One would think this could be a learning experience. We could build on this moving forward. But given the chaos in Congress between Democrats and Republicans and the White House the way it is, do you think we're going to learn anything, or is it going to go just back to where it was?
Oh, we're not going to learn anything. We've had lots of government shutdowns over the last couple decades, and we treat each of them as a shocking new experience. We don't learn from them. We don't get around them. Republicans have won this one, and so they're chortling. They don't care about future government shutdowns because they think they'll win again. Democrats want to do better next time, so they're not thinking in these terms. And the losers, unfortunately, are the American public.